Welcome to another episode of Back to the City. Today I'm very excited to be joined by Drew Forsberg. We're going to be talking about the fifth and final EP from the Persian Leaps to be released in the 5-year run of one EP a year. So congratulations.
Thank you.
For reaching the finish line.
Yeah, it was part of our 5-year plan. Five song EPs in 5 years. So
how did you initially determine that plan in particular?
You know, it kind of came about naturally. We released an EP, and I kind of got it. We got into this rhythm where it was just this manageable workload, as it were, a chunk of songs that, you know, we could basically. The idea was that every year we'd take the 5 best new songs that we had that worked well together and record them, and it was just a lot easier than trying to commit to doing a whole album, and it just felt like kind of a manageable amount of work for for all of us who have careers and families and stuff.
Yeah.
So
if I remember correctly, when we met up pretty much exactly a year ago to talk about EP number 4, Your City Underwater, I think that you had the track listing determined for this one?
Yep. Yeah.
So was that the case each year?
Pretty much. I mean, you know, some of the but yeah, I usually would have like at least one EP planned ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of had an idea what would be on the next EP a year or more out. So
yeah. So something that's occurred since we last spoke is it's become a video show, and along with that, this is our DIY green screen just here. So here is John Hunt's depiction of Your City Underwater. So this is the cover up for the previous record. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So there's like a global warming focus. Yeah. This time, Bicycle Face is, I understand, like a 19th century like pseudo medical condition.
Yeah.
So that's the less well known thing, obviously. How did you come across the idea of the Bicycle Face?
Well, so a year or so back, I was probably following some clickbait link on Facebook, and there was this article on Vox.com about Bicycle Face, and so it was, you know, kind of describing this in the late 1900s when bicycles became popular and commercially available. Apparently, you know, men were kind of frightened that women were riding bikes and kind of had this newfound freedom and independence, and they made up this fake medical condition called Bicycle Face. Like, apparently, you know, by biking and getting exercise and being out in the elements, you'd kind of, you know, develop this frown and leathery face or something. I don't know.
Especially
like
if you were a woman.
If you were a woman, right? Naturally. So
only if you were a woman.
Only a woman. If it makes perfect sense. So. And so, you know, there were like references in medical journals at the time, and so it was, you know, it was just this ridiculous thing that was kind of amusing, you know, horrifying, but I just kind of loved the absurdity of it. Yeah. And there was so the article had a picture of a woman from 1895 posing with her bicycle, and that's actually the image that. In a modified form that ended up on the cover of the new EP. But the original picture, I kind of fell in love with that woman because she looked very independent and strong, very poised and feminine. But, you know, she looked like somebody who wasn't really having any of this bicycle face nonsense, and was, you know, kind of doing her own thing. Right. And she kind of looked like somebody that, like, yeah, if I were a man at the time, I might be scared of, with good reason, you know, that here she is asserting herself and stepping out into the world.
Did you already have the songs, and you thought there's something about this, how threatening these 19th century males were finding These female
I don't
soloists,
think
or-
it wasn't. No, I wouldn't say that. There's really no thematic thing going on between the album, the EP title, and the song.
and the songs. Yeah.
It's not. There's really no connection
Yeah.
between that. So it was just a cool sounding title that I wanted to use. And,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, it kind of hints at the phrase bicycle race as well, which is interesting because there's such a focus on immobility in the record.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Is that a theme that you were conscious of, that being or becoming immobile?
No, I can. Now that you mention it, I definitely can see that. There's quite a few songs that talk about being trapped or immobile, or afraid.
So two things struck me as being recurring foci. The idea of being or becoming immobile, and that being related to something happening to one's spine. Both at the beginning, so in Picture My Reaction, which is the first single, in the final verse of that, we have brush a trailing finger up and down my spine until I am immobile. And once I knew that there was that bicycle face was a medical condition, it struck me as interesting that we do have this recurring focus on the spine.
Okay. Yeah.
So that seems like a connection, like a medical context.
I mean, I definitely see that thread. I think it's totally accidental. It's interesting though. But Picture My Reaction is, it started out as so many of my songs do, like just kind of with a phrase, and I come up with a riff.
Yeah.
I start singing along to it. I find some random phrase that sticks, and it happened to be Picture My Reaction, and then I'm kind of forced to write a song about it. But what came out of that though is I think that this song is about kind of the first blush of being in love with someone. So it's this kind of very, and not like in kind of like a sentimental love, but like just this kind of almost chemical reaction when, like, you're the early days of a relationship where you're really excited, and there's
Right.
kind of this almost this visceral chemical reaction that being around this new exciting person gives you. And so it's kind of about that buzz that you feel from,
Yeah. There's a lyric about I'm bringing on the buzz I feel when I am with you.
Yeah.
But there's this, you described it as like a chemical reaction, and that seems telling.
Yeah.
So is it almost like is the song capturing that feeling, or is it reflecting on that feeling, or the folly of that feeling?
I think it's kind of trying to capture the excitement. I mean, the song is pretty up tempo, and I think it's really kind of trying to reflect that kind of sugar rush of new love, new infatuation. So.
Okay, and so it's so this trailing finger brushing up and down one's spine. Is this a pleasurable sensation then?
Yeah, no, I kind of thought of it more as like kind of a sexual thing, or just kind of a caress.
Yeah,
it's not it's just this a lover's caress, and it's just so intoxicating that you're like kind of
you don't want to,
ready
you don't need to
faint.
move. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay.
So
on the one hand, we have blood, the sugar to the bloodstream racing through my veins. So the sugar is racing, but Drew, or the protagonist, the character, is happily immobile. Something nice is happening to Drew's spine. But what's happening by the end of the record then? What's happening to the character's spine in Pushpins?
Yeah, that's that's kind of an interesting arc there that I hadn't thought of. But,
unconscious arc.
Yeah, very unconscious. But Pushpins is more from the point of view who's someone who's kind of trapped in a situation, trapped in feels trapped in their life, I guess. And I'm, I was thinking of it as, like the whole push pins in the spine. I'm thinking of like a butterfly or some kind of insect that's being, mounted on a board and with a pin.
Yeah.
That was kind of the metaphor that was going through my mind when I was writing that. And so, metaphorically, this is a person who kind of feels like they're, being held into place by like an insect on a mounting board.
What an interesting and fortuitous narrative arc then that we've ended up with, because we've got the blood racing, someone who doesn't feel any desire to go anywhere. They're quite happily, their spine is being caressed, it feels great. And then we end up, after having visited other songs where there's an emphasis on like being at a dead end, or in Even Less, which is a favorite of mine, if I was nothing when I was with you, I'm even less than that right now. So there's a sense of having, like the idea of going backwards is almost like not far enough. We begin with a sense of ease at not being in motion. It's like until I am immobile, and that's good. Like stop me from moving, stop me from feeling this need to progress. But then, there's a sense of being haunted by not moving. There's a lyric about the rung on the ladder, always missing the bottom rung on the ladder.
Yeah, from On the Downside.
Yeah.
I think that, there definitely was no theme that I had in mind, but in hindsight, Picture My Reaction kind of stands out from the other songs, and then it's a much more upbeat, positive song. Like I said, it's about this rush of new love, and it's exciting and happy and titillating or whatever. Yeah. And then the rest of the songs are, and that I don't know, that's I don't really write love songs generally, and I would say that my songs are usually more downbeat or pessimistic. Yeah. And I think that after that song, I think the rest of the album kind of falls more into that mold. So there is some contrast between that first song and the remaining songs.
It's like the Ask Me of the record, the Smiths song.
Oh yeah.
Ask Me.
Yeah.